Okay, hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. Okay, right off the bat, I know it's been a minute since I posted on here, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update before we get into today's video. I originally took a little break here earlier in July, I believe, and that was just to go spend time with family, and then we went to go visit my boyfriend's family. So there was a little bit of traveling happening, and then actually after that, we ended up adopting 3 cats. We originally adopted 2 kittens from the rescue that I volunteer with, and then about a month or so later, a mama cat came in and she has an injury to one of her eyes, and so she's gonna have to have it removed. And honestly, you guys, when I met her, I just fell in love, and so we ended up adopting her about a week ago. And of course, in between all of that, life just keeps lifing, and I think that other things were just constantly coming up, and I was having a little bit of trouble balancing everything. But we're back, and I'm gonna be doing a more in-depth kind of catch-up vlog later this week where I share some of my home updates, obviously give you guys a proper introduction to Bug, Ori, and Mitzi, my 3 little cats, and then we will also kind of dive into just some random life updates. I'll share more about my different journal systems and really just have a much needed catch up. Also, really quick, if you hear some meowing in the background, that would be Bug and Ori. Both of them just got fixed yesterday, and so they have little cones on. I've had to put them in like a little section penned off corner of my bedroom just so they don't run around or hurt themselves or anything, and they are not too happy about that. So they look really cute though in their little cones, but I really just want to make sure that they heal well. So honestly, they might make a little bit of noise as I film this, but I'm hoping that they just fall asleep soon. Okay, I think that about does it for the catch-up period of this video, and now we can kind of jump into why we're all here, which is basically going to be a reflection on using a Filofax for 1 year. Now, it's technically been a little bit over a year since I got this. I got this in July of 2024, and I have pretty much used it every single day ever since. It is by far one of my favorite purchases to date. I honestly can't recommend these things enough. A little bit of background, my Filofax is the Filofax Pocket Cross. It's actually a discontinued version because they have like some cracking along the spine. When I got it off of eBay, I wasn't aware that that was a thing, but honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. And yeah, it is a pocket size, and so like there's my hand for reference. I carry it with me everywhere. I use it as my wallet, and I thought it'd be kind of fun and interesting to walk you guys through everything I've learned about it in a year, how I use it differently, what it looks like now, talk you through some of the mistakes I made, talk you through some of the things that I've done that I love, and really just give you guys a look into my Pocket Filofax after using it for a year. Let's go ahead and open her up. It has gotten a lot chunkier from when I originally set this up. If you guys haven't watched my videos before, you will notice a lot of jewelry, a lot of charms. That's just one of my favorite ways to personalize my pocket planner, so you'll find that a lot throughout my videos. I've had this gold charm bracelet with these little hearts on it here for quite some time, and I recently added this silver charm bracelet with hearts. I'm really into mixing metals, and so I thought I should probably incorporate that into my journal or planner as well, obviously. I also have my lucky 4-leaf clover charm. I've got a little bookmark here. I change what bookmark I keep in here pretty often. This was just one that my partner got me off of Etsy. To attach my jewelry to my planner, I use a plant identifier stick. This came with my aloe vera plants, and I just used a hole puncher to punch a hole in, and then I can kind of loop in a jewelry finding to connect it all. I've got a ticket from a art museum that I went to with my partner when we were in Austin. And then of course I've got my lucky $2 bill, which has seriously been in here for the entirety of the time I've used this planner. On the side here, I have this little, it kind of looks like a luggage tag or like some sort of, I don't really know what. I got it from like a little crafty store in downtown Las Vegas. And then I also keep 2 cards in here for a little magic trick that I know. That's something new I've been keeping in there. I love doing the magic trick for people. It just feels like a really fun conversation starter, and so I keep that in there. My cover page has gone through quite a few changes. Right now I am back to my swan, but I added this little patch I got when I was in Oregon, and then this little angel sticker. My biggest recommendation if you are just now starting to set up your planner is to get one of these plastic insert slips where you can actually change out what you have inside. I change out my cover page of my planner all the time. I honestly do it probably about monthly or so. I usually cut out a piece of cardstock or something that has a little bit of thickness to it, and then I can decorate on the cardstock, and I create these little slips that I can change in and out. And it's been one of those really easy ways for me to customize my planner in a way that's really easily replaceable, and I've had this same insert thing since I got my planner. If I mention any inserts or anything like that throughout this video, they will be linked down below in the description in case you want to check them out, but I'll do my best just to kind of mention what they are in case you just want to look them up too. Obviously, I've got to do something on the back as well, so I have my live a colorful life thing, and then I just wrote down expect miracles, and I just kind of stuck that at the bottom there. I keep a little paper clip on here just if I want to paperclip any notes, or like if I go out somewhere and I get one of those little parking slips, I'll usually just paperclip it to the front of my planner. That way I don't lose it in my purse, because I can't tell you how many times I've done that. So I've got that there, and then I don't know what the last update I shared with you guys was, but one of the things I've really been loving lately is having the first page of my planner be just for quick notes. I used to make this a to-do list, and then I realized there's a lot of things that I just want to jot down that aren't necessarily things I need to get done. And so now the first page of my planner is just for anything that comes to my mind that I want to get down onto a piece of paper. I wrote down notes at the top. I have this little sticky note here just because some things are personal, but yeah, it makes it really convenient if you are just carrying this planner around with you and you want to write something down to not forget it or something. Put it on the first page of your planner and you can always organize it later on. As you go deeper into my planner, everything that comes before the first section divider is basically just loose papers. A lot of these are things that used to be the first page, but then I started to organize them a little bit better or just kind of develop on the idea a bit more. For example, on my notes page, I think I wrote down that I wanted to add a window trim around my windows, and then I saw that note later on and decided that I really wanted to make a whole ways to add character to my home list. Eventually this will go back into probably divider number 2, where I keep a lot of my lists, but for now I've been keeping it near the front because I've been thinking about all sorts of ways that I can kind of DIY and add little upgrades to my home. So this is a little list of that. The next page I have in here is a list of things that I would love to do/film while I'm in San Francisco. My best friend is actually getting married and I'm her maid of honor, and we are going to be going just to try on some dresses. And so I have a list of things that I would love to do and film while I'm there. Things like a little pack with me video, things like, you know, going to different little gift shops or coffee shops in town. And then on the back of that, I have more video ideas and then also a list of shops that I want to visit. These are pretty much all just blank pages after that until you get to my to-do list. So yeah, as I reflect on the past year that I've had this planner, one thing I would really recommend is keeping an assortment of pages at the front of your planner instead of at the back. When I originally set this up, I kept all my blank pages in the back, and that kind of led to some of my ideas being lost along the way. I would write things down, forget I wrote them down, and just never really revisit them. And so the fact that as soon as I open my planner, everything that I've recently written down is at the front, it's meant that I haven't forgotten as much, and I think I have also been able to follow through on a lot of my ideas a lot better just because they're easily visible. And so I think that one big tip if you are trying to start working in a planner is to make things as visible as possible. If you know you have a habit of forgetting to do things, or maybe you get so busy that things just kind of slip through the cracks, make things visible. I even use things like these little sticky notes, especially this one that says take notes. I will put this, it's bright yellow, and I'll put it on the front of my planner, like over here. That way it's almost impossible for me to forget about something. So that is just one of my tips as I continue to learn about how my mind works in my planner. I have this cute little to-do side tab, so as soon as I open my planner, I can jump right to my to-do list. These are more personal related things that I want to get done. I don't really put a ton of work things on here. I might have a couple of things, but a lot of them are just things that I want to do in my personal life. Like I want to finish filling up my photo albums. I want to start selling some of my clothing, so I think I need to kind of go through that. I want to organize my phone photos, which is honestly just a never-ending battle. We have to fix a rafter in our house. I got this cool black shelf that I want to paint for my cats, and so that's on here as well. I'll go ahead and replace this to-do list as I fill it up, but normally I try just to mark everything off on here before I add more things to my to-do list. And that pretty much brings us to section number 1 in my planner. So something that I would definitely recommend is having dividers in your planner and really getting used to what you're going to put where. I think that when I was first starting off with my pocket planner, it is such a small space that you can kind of just cram stuff wherever you can get it. And I found that using dividers is a really fantastic way of staying organized without having to put in too much effort. Section number 1 for me is all of my daily, monthly, and weekly tracking. Section number 2 has all of my lists, and section number 3 has all of my daily/monthly habit trackers. I really like these dividers in specific because they also have one of those like clear insert pouches, so I'm able to customize it even further. I like that. Again, they're really easy to change up, and it's just kind of a fun way to add a bit of personality to your planner. So I've got a little tea bag that I love. On the back, I have a sticker that I got from my local library, and then I have this written here. It says, "I love you," and it's in my grandmother's handwriting. So yeah, if I'm just popping open my planner for the first time that day and I want to get to my monthly, weekly, and daily info, I just grab this tab here and flip it that way. And because I love making things easy for myself, I also have a little flip thing on top here that says today, and that's how I get to my daily page. I did go ahead and cut near the holes there so I can easily remove it, and when it's time to change the positioning of it, it's easy for me just to kind of pop it back in. Again, this is one of those things where after a year of using my planner, I use this more than anything. Having a little divider or tab that gives you easy access to a page that you use pretty frequently is going to be something you will never regret, and this is just one of my favorite ones to include. I have one for today, I have one for my week, and I have one for my month. So let's say I want to get to my month, I just flip here. I've got this little divider for my monthly pages, and I have this cute bird that matches my today one. Typically, I'll keep some sort of paper clip or bookmark on this one in case I need to extend it a little bit more. That's another good tip if you're looking to create some sort of divider but you don't have the means to make one. You can just use a paper clip. All you would do is just let it stick out a little bit more like so. I don't know if you guys can see that on the side there, but now that I have a paper clip on the edge, I can just kind of open to my monthly page whenever I want. There are really so many ways to do it. I just like to use the dividers because they add a little bit more color and a little bit more personalization. But yeah, highly recommend doing that. After 1 year of using my planner, I have really kind of developed on the way I use my monthly spread. What I now love to do is make all of my daily fun things written out in my monthly spread. And my daily fun thing, in case you don't know, is one thing I do every single day to just kind of enrich my life a little bit. So on the first, I have my new month rituals or like my reset routine. On the second, I made a fall playlist. Today is my cozy show night. I will be watching The Summer I Turned Pretty with my partner. Tomorrow, I have my wine and book dates. On Friday, I have my volunteering. Saturday, a day with my grandparents. Sunday, an early AM hike. Tea party night on the 8th, and then writing letters and postcards to send out on the 9th, and so on. Lots of ideas, but I love having them down on my monthly spread because I'm going to be able to look at them every day, and they really just kind of remind me to look for those little pleasures in life, which has been something I've really been trying to prioritize. The next section I have in my planner is my weekly spread. I also have one of these dividers here, but I accidentally hole punched too close to the edge, so this one's a little bit just it kind of falls out easier. But in terms of reflecting on my weekly spread, I think that I would say if you are going to have any spread in your pocket planner that you just want to start out with, go with the weekly spread. I think that sometimes daily can be overwhelming. You don't really want to upkeep it every single day, whatever like that. Weekly is the perfect balance between having enough information, but also not having to feel like you're filling out every single page every single day. On my weekly pages, I put things that I want to get done, areas of my home I want to clean. I rewrite down any of my daily fun things from the monthly spread, and then I also write down if I have any appointments or workout classes. Being able to see my whole week at a glance has been really nice, and I would say it's probably the section that I'm the most consistent with. If you notice, my daily spreads are not dated, and I really like these in particular because of that fact, because sometimes maybe I just don't have a lot going on that day. Why would I kind of waste a planner page on that? And so I like that I'm able to date it when I need it instead of having all of the days in my planner no matter what. Opposite to that, I'm actually going to recommend that you do get a weekly spread that is dated. I originally started out with a undated weekly spread because I thought I had the same mentality towards daily pages as I did weekly pages. That decision actually ended up with me mislabeling the days of the week, and I got some deadlines mixed up. It was a whole mess. So I think think if there's anything that I would recommend having dates on, it would be the weekly pages. It's also just kind of nice that you don't have to worry about writing the dates in, worrying about mixing it up or anything like that. So those are my weekly pages. I also wanted to note one more thing because I'm just now looking at it and remembering. Also, sorry, that is Bug. He is staring at me with the biggest eyes ever. I actually named him Bug because he has massive eyes and he does not like his cone at all. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention really quick is to make sure that you're keeping an appropriate amount of dated pages in your planner at a time. There was a time when I was only keeping maybe a week or two or max a month worth of dated pages in my planner. And now I've really adjusted that to maybe the next 3 to 4 months. So in here right now, I have until November 5th. And then when this day comes, I'll just add in probably the rest of this year and then remove everything before that to archive it. If you're setting up a pocket planner for your first time, it is going to be pretty shocking how fast you can fill it up. And so I would say make sure you're only keeping maybe about 3 months or so worth of weekly pages in here because you really don't need to have everything in here at once. And it does really save you a lot of space. All right, moving on to section number 2. Now, like I said earlier, this is going to be the section for all of my lists. I've got my cleaning checklist right off the bat, and then I think I have other lists in here of things I want to thrift, things I want to buy, gifts I want to get other people. I have lists of books I want to read, all sorts of stuff like that. Again, I really want to encourage you to use dividers in your planner because I know that whenever I need to reference any of my lists, they are going to be in section number 2. Here's another example. I went on a trip earlier this year in June and I made like a little packing list. I was originally going to throw this away, but then I realized how many times I need to write and rewrite a packing list. And so I decided just to keep this in here, and it's been really nice to be able to reference whenever I need to pack up things pretty quickly. I am definitely a last minute packer, and this is really helpful just to make sure I don't forget anything. When I think about this section in terms of how I've used it over the past year, I would say definitely don't be afraid to make lists of everything. Make lists of songs that make you happy, make lists of places you want to go, make lists of places you've been. I think one way that I've really enjoyed using my pocket planner is less of a planner and more of a journal and like a life companion. That might sound a little bit cheesy, but it is really fun just to be able to use one place to document so much about your life. Obviously, I do have a journal that I use to keep more detailed records of things I do and different ideas and whatnot like that. But if I'm just out and about and I have my planner with me and I have an idea and I want to kind of write it out, or we go and watch a movie and I want to write down what I thought about it or write down, give it like a little rating or something, this is where that's going to happen. I even have a tracker for books I've read and their rating, and then also movies/shows that I've watched and their rating. Every time my partner and I watch a movie, we write it down and we each write our rating of it, and it's really fun just to kind of look back on almost like 4 to 5 years of movies and things that we've watched. So yeah, my 1 year in tip here would just be to make lists of everything. We are officially on the final divider in my planner, and that is where I keep all of my trackers, and there are quite a few of them. Again, I've got this cute little divider in here. I have my starting fresh quotes, and then on the back I have a little Polaroid from a trip I went on with Notability, where I met 2 very lovely ladies, and I have a little sticker that I got in Texas as well during that trip. I just love looking back on it. Both of them are just so creative, and I love seeing this, and it just kind of serves as a nice little memory and also a reminder. At the beginning of section 3, I like to keep this page as well, just because usually if I'm going through this section, I'm writing down my daily gratitude, I'm writing down things I've done that day or accomplished, and so I like having a little reminder here for myself. I have this one that I wrote on my typewriter. It says, "Mornings matter, put down your phone and live through your 12-year-old self's eyes." I also have this one I wrote that says, "It all begins and ends with your mind." Big planner/journal tip here for you. If you are somebody who needs to have some sort of accountability partner but doesn't want to actually have one, I would definitely recommend writing notes to yourself just to kind of give myself a little boost of confidence, and it's just been a really nice way for me to communicate with myself in a more intimate way. I've got my daily habits page that I, haven't updated. Yes, I meditated on the 1st, 2nd, and today. I did all my admin work and I went on a walk. I did 30 minutes of yoga or strength training, and then I did have a no scroll/binge TV moment. Now, the reason I'm doing this this and not my daily habits page like this is because my printer is out of ink, so I'm currently improvising. And if I have any other habits that I want to track for the month, I use this sticky notes. Probably use these until my printer gets sorted out. And then I'll go back to this daily habits tracker, which I just made on Canva. Another great tip that I've learned is to really utilize Canva and other online resources to make your own templates. If you feel like you can't find an existing insert that works for you, then my best recommendation is going to be for you to just make it yourself. I obviously don't make all of my inserts, like these are from Filofax and then these are from a different brand on Amazon, but if I can't find an insert that I like, especially because sometimes pocket planner pages are a little bit more limited compared to a personal or an A5 size, then I just go out and make it. I have found so many awesome templates on Canva. It's been pretty easy to kind of resize them so that way they fit inside my planner, and I would really recommend it. I spent quite a bit of time looking for the perfect habit tracker that would work for me, but it wasn't out there, so I just had to make it myself. Okay, next up, this is something that's actually only been a part of my system since the beginning of this year, but I got these awesome foldouts that come with tons of months, and I use them for my daily gratitude pages, for my one line a day, basically to track everything. All of the ones I have in here are my daily gratitude, my one line a day, song of the day, and something I accomplished that day. So there are quite a few of these in here. After using them for now about 8 months, I would really recommend them. I think they're a great way just to keep all of your pages for a certain topic on one page per year. Page, I guess you could say, but what I mean is that they're all connected. And so all of my daily gratitude pages for all of 2025 are going to be able to be referenced in one area. And I really, really like that. And I would say the only con, I don't even know if you would call it a con, but I sometimes forget to update these. And then I have to go back in and fill them in for the last few days or something, but that's honestly not that big of a deal. And it's also something that would happen no matter if I was using this type of tracker or something else. The only con I would mention that might be an actual con for some people is you don't really have a ton of space to write. So I'm not writing a ton of things. Like on the first of this year, I wrote down, I'm grateful for a fresh start. You don't have a lot of space to work with, and so you can't obviously go in depth about things, but I think if you're somebody who just wants to write down one thing you're grateful for really quick in the morning, this would definitely be a fantastic option for you. In the very back of my planner, I keep a few things. I keep a little piece of parchment paper for stickers. This is one of those things that I've learned after a year of using my planner, and that is always keep a piece of parchment paper with you in case you want to peel a little sticker off of a coffee cup or something. You have a place to put it in case you want to transfer it to a different journal, a junk journal, or even if you just don't want to decide where you want to put it quite yet, this will save you. And then I also keep a little plastic baggie just for random little things. I do want to actually hole punch the sides of this so it can kind of be permanently inserted, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. In the very back, I also keep a few stickers in case I ever want to decorate my spreads on the go. And then here is where I keep cash for when I'm going out or anything, and also some change. And that's pretty much how I've been using my Pocket Filofax after a year of use. I'm gonna go ahead and tag my original Pocket Planner setup video in the cards. That way you guys can check it out to see what it looked like back then. But all in all, I think that my planner is just a lot more full. It's really developed a lot. I've added all sorts of trinkets and charms that weren't there originally. And I would say in a nutshell, it's just become more lived in. I think that the longer you use your planner, the more you're going to customize it to what works best for you, and that's just one of those things that is going to happen over time. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys again so much for being patient with me as I've been away for the past few months, and thank you for continuing to be here and continuing to support me. Seriously, if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section and I'll get back to you. If you've been working in your planner system for a while, I would definitely be curious to know how things have changed for you. So definitely feel free to share that down below as well. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.